You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming. It's somebody mounts the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Kingsguard, Leandros' Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Your own voice also haunted you as you replied back with a tone that similarly matched. Can you feel it? Your carnal desire is emerging from the depths of your very being. You looked around frantically, searching for the source of the voice. Yet despite being unable to see anything, you felt like whatever was out there saw you clearly. Who are you? A blast of fire blinded you, a heat so hot it could have seared your skin. Yet you could not blink and you could not look away. Deeper and deeper you stared into the flames and images began to form, images and sounds. A barren landscape, not a shred of green grass or golden fields of grain in sight. A sky, a soot gray in which ash fell like raindrops upon the thirsty, cracked ground. It was a vision of a battle, a terrible war where more than 1,000 piles of bodies of likely 1,000 men were burning from the smell of charred flesh. Carrion circled the skies, looking for a meal that they would not find, only to drop dead on the ground and burn with the rest of the earth. Then came whispers, incoherent mumblings that unsettled into a cacophony of screams. Screams of terror, agony, and pain that belonged to innocent men, women, and children as they were slain in their homes on the streets. Such horrors and atrocities that none should ever have to see. You wanted to close your eyes, but it all flowed into you like a sponge. So much pain and sadness, so much agony and remorse, so much hatred and animosity. Stop! Please! One by one, dark, charred hands began to reach out, stretching to inhuman lengths to grab at you and add you to their numbers. But leave me alone! The fire scalded it all, burnt it to ash, and was burned even further until nothing remained. I am the devourer of blood and souls, searer of flesh and bone. I am the mirror of the depths of humanity's soul. From within the bonfire, the flames began to dance as though they were alive. They coalesced in their waltz, bending and twisting until you could begin to make out a wavering shadow. At first it had no form, but eventually it took shape, and a broad, human-like being stood before you. I am war incarnate, Ifrit. You stared upon the being of unknown origin. You had no words for what to call it, only that it had a form close to that of a human. Every fiber in your body told you to run, a gripping fear that would have chilled you to your bone if it weren't for the heat. As you peered into his fiery eyes, you could tell that he was an enemy of all life. Far more dangerous than Gaius, the Assassins, and the Leviathan. He was unnatural, a being beyond an affront to nature. A demon. You're not human. What are you? With an unmoving jaw and a masked face, it seemed to chuckle before holding out its hand and revealing a blade, the same sword gifted to you by your relatives. Its lustrous golden glow is red hot and was wreathed in flames. What I am is of no importance to my wanting to make your world a holy inferno. Then what do you want from me? Upon your reply, you felt the void become hotter, the flames growing ever so slightly, as though your mere inquiry was a nuisance. I was conjured, created from the shadows in the hearts of men, but sealed away when they succumb to fear. But soon this prison will no longer hold. Upon his last words, an inscription appeared on the blade in a language that you had never seen before. Ifrit. Once again, words slid out of your tongue as natural as breathing. The words etched into the blade. The name of the being conversing right in front of you. How you knew how to read it you didn't know, but you assumed it had something to do with the thing in front of you. Centuries I have waited for the perfect vessel, traveling beyond your wildest dreams. Yet to find you so feebly armed and languid, unable to even wield a morsel of power to fill that Leviathan. Rejoice that your pathetic life will be sacrificed to a greater being. What are you talking about? A long, fiery finger stretched out. Me? You do not know, do not understand, and cannot control the power that you hold. A power that 1,000 demons would slit each other's throats to obtain. Power? What power are you talking about? But I can use it to its full potential. I can give your meaningless life a purpose. Release your soul. Give up your body. And the world will see a new ruler, a new king, a new god. The being started forth slowly but surely, and you matched step for step backwards. Whatever this thing was talking about, you couldn't let it touch you. There was nowhere to run. Submit. Stay away! It grew larger and larger, its hand reaching out, becoming the size of a horse. Leandros! Jaws! He cannot hear you. No one can. With every passing second, it grew larger in its steps. Its reach brought it that much closer. There really was nowhere you could go. You had to get out of here, to wake up, to do something. The world will burn. War in every city and town. Blood filling every river. This is what you desire. This is what you want. The flames around it grew. Feeding into it, you felt the heat rise. The sweat dripping off your body evaporating instantly, your eyes starting to sting. The giant demon swiped and his clawed hands missed you by a hair's width. Oof. 1 second now. Ooh, this is taking a lot out of me. Okay. You picked up pace, yet even as you did, it was gaining on you. Leave me alone! You cannot run away forever. I will take you by force if I have to. You are mine and mine alone. That body belongs to me. I will claim what is rightfully mine. The flames rose up and around you, swirling violently and eating away at your body. No matter how hard you flailed, you couldn't put it out. Stop! Go away! Give in to me! Leandros! What? What is this? What are you doing? It's you! Know your place. For he is mine, and mine alone. Jake! Jake! Please, get up! Leandros? As you opened your eyes, you found Leandros shaking you violently, his face mere inches from your own. The sounds of battle slowly came to you. The roar of the monster, the desperate crew still struggling to fend it off, and the snapping and breaking of wood was a reminder that you were still in the middle of a fight for your lives. You had woken from a nightmare, right into another one, only this time you knew you could not just pinch yourself awake. We need to go! Leandros helped you up, but a sharp pain throughout your entire body brought you back down to your knees. Jake! I can't move! A single shift of your arm was enough to make you cry out in pain, yet you could barely even scream. It was as though every bone in your body had been broken. I know it hurts, but we have to get you out of here, now! As you looked around, you noticed broken wood shards and dust covering every inch of you, and the floor and wall at your back uneven. You were laying in a U-sized crater on the ship. While you didn't have time to question what had happened, you assumed the pain in this crater must have been the end result of you attacking the Leviathan, and likely failing. Don't let up! Send this beast back to Sidon's locker! Alkai's voice rang out through the chaos, and the sailors swarmed like wasps, jabbing their blades right into the body of the beast, though still not deep enough to draw blood. The Leviathan had coiled itself around the entire ship and held it hostage. With each strike, the beast bellowed out, and its grip on the ship grew tighter. Second, y'all. Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's jump back into it, shall we? Okay. It was a miracle the ship hadn't already snapped in two under the pressure, but the creaking and groaning of the ship told you it wouldn't hold long. Okay, the ship isn't going to hold for much longer. Damn spawn of Sidon. Not let it crush the hull. Any tighter and we'll all go down. The sailors rallied once more, their blades biting into the creature's flesh like rabid dogs until finally its grip loosened enough for it to slip off the ship. Several of the crew went to cheer, but one look at Alkai and they knew this fight was far from over. Keep your eyes on the water. Don't let it take any of us by surprise again. And get those cannons loaded again! It should have been a brief respite, but there was no time to rest. The sailors scattered around, some watching with their eyes and ears trained to the water, and others scurrying below deck and returning with more ammunition for the fight ahead. He had hoped this was the end, that the creature would have finally left, and it seemed dead set on you and the blade. You wished you knew the reason why, and a part of you wanted to ask the blade, after all. It seemed to have some idea why. It spoke as though they had met before. Was it talking about before this when it attacked you on the Syracusia? Or perhaps even before you had met the blade when it was traveling to Havana in the position of your aunt and uncle? For some reason you felt like they knew each other for far longer than that, an ancient grudge as old as time. We should go back under before it gets back. It's not safe for you to be up here. But... You looked around at the wreckage the creature caused. The ship would not hold up much longer. Even if you hid below deck, it would only be a matter of time before this ship was a repeat of the Syracusia. Just a bit away, you saw Jaws and Alki, the two toughest, scariest-looking bunch of beastmen you had ever seen, both rattled at the whole endeavor. They seemed to be fighting, which you could only assume was natural given how stressed everyone was. So we're supposed to just sit here like ducks and wait for it to attack again? And what the hell do you think we're supposed to do? I'll chase after it, get in close and gut it in the water. Don't be an idiot. Even with as good of a swimmer as you are, you'll be its lunch the moment you touch the water. And if we lose you, it'll all be over. Look at the crew, they're barely holding on as it is. You think they'll have the courage to face up to that thing if they see your dead body floating in the water? We're gonna have to hold the fort and hit it with everything we've got. That thing will be in for a rude awakening knowing it dared to challenge us. The blade in your hand shook again, but there wasn't a voice this time, but a feeling. A feeling that told you that there was only one way that you were going to get out of this alive. Leandros, it doesn't matter where I go. We aren't going to make it out of this alive. But I know how we can beat it. This might be our only chance. Jake! You felt a sudden sense of freedom, as if the weight of 1,000 chains had been lifted off your body. As you held out the blade with shaky hands towards Leandros, you knew this was the only way. Take it. You were just as frightened as he was. Even if he had no idea how dangerous it truly was, somehow you felt as though he could handle it. Jake, I'm not... This blade can kill the Leviathan, but I can't handle it. I don't have the training or the power to wield a sword like this, but you can. What are you saying? There's something about this blade that is telling me that it is able to defeat it. Just before I woke up, it almost took control of me. Right now it's silent. I don't know what happened to it and why it's no longer speaking to me, but I can tell. There's a power in this blade. It might be evil, but it's the only chance we have. You stared deep into his eyes, knowing full well how frightened he was of it. This is our only way. Leandros stared down at the blade, likely cursing it with every word he could think of. But eventually he gave in, taking it as though it were as fragile as a baby egg. He watched carefully for any sort of reaction, but there was nothing. There was a thought that pricked you at the back of your mind to take it back. It started out weak, but started to grow. Yet as soon as you envisioned it back in your hands, the feeling faded. Perhaps it was not yet possible for you to be completely free of the cursed sword, but when all this fighting was over, you would certainly search for a way to get rid of it for good. The silence was broken by the beast's cries in the night, and the entire ship went into a frenzy looking for where it would pop up next. From starboard to port, everyone was wary and ready to strike once the scaled beast reared its ugly head. Then you could feel it, smell it, the stench becoming stronger and stronger until... Leandros! He pointed at where its body was now rising again, and your Kingsguard turned his attention to that direction just as the creature sprouted back up from the sea. Damn thing just won't let up! If we go down today, we go down fighting. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna pause it right there. Alright, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for what you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5 already. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!